Bogota Board of Education regular meeting, January 21st, 2020 at 7 p.m. Please stand for the pledge. I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
The New Jersey Open Public Meetings Law was enacted to ensure the right of the public to have advance notice of and to attend the meetings of public bodies at which any business affecting their interest is discussed or acted upon. In accordance with the provisions of this act, the Bogota Board of Education has caused notice of this meeting to be published by having the date, time, and place thereof posted in the Bogota Borough Hall, communicated by letter to the record, filed with the clerk of the Borough of Bogota, and posted on the Bogota Board of Education website. Irvin, can you call the roll, please?
Mrs. Alvarez?
Here.
Mrs. Lewis?
Here.
Mr. Markel?
Here.
Mrs. Miller?
Here.
Mr. Moore?
Here.
Mrs. Van Buren?
Present.
Ms. Montgomery?
Here.
Mrs. Coles?
Here.
We have the call.
Thank you. Also present is Mr. Kennedy, our superintendent. Nathaniel Simon is our board attorney. Mr. Efsel is our board administrator, and Elizabeth Ruiz is our assistant board secretary. At this time, can I have a motion to open up to public comments on agenda items only?
Second.
Pat, seconded by Jim. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, at this time, if anybody would like to come forward on agenda items only, please come forward and state your name and address.
Karen Carpenter, 14 Hill Street. Just one question, I see on here, and I think this is great, 120, they'll get late, the assembly and C school. What day? There's no date on here.
Because we haven't got an exact date, but we are going to have it with Bixby and Steam now, so they're going to come together to do it.
They're going to do this together. Now, my question is this going to be a day? I think this is an awesome thing.
It's something for the kids during the day, yes.
It's for the kids during the day. Are we going to have something like this for a time? I know we had it one time.
We had one earlier in the year. It was decently attended. We were talking about trying to do something, schedule something in the spring. If it wasn't with vaping, it was with apps, so parents were aware of what apps kids were using to look out for. So when we get to the spring, we're going to hope to have something else for the parents.
Thank you so much.
Anybody else? Okay, can I have a motion to close public comment? Pat, seconded by Jim. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, we'll go on to superintendent's report.
Okay, first I have an addendum tonight. We're walking in 3 issues or 3 agenda items. The first 2 are, we had QSAC today, and they suggested that we have these 2 resolutions for toilets in the elementary school because our preschool shares the toilet with another classroom. We have to have a waiver for that, which it's not a problem. We just have to submit. We have to have board approval. Also, we use one of our rooms. We split it in half for OT and BSL and for BSI, so we just need a waiver for those 2 and board resolutions. The third one is a BSI teacher to help in the elementary with our math. We've been stressing a lot the reading levels in the elementary school, so now we have someone to come in and help the rest of the year with the math to get us ready for the JSLA. Also, I interviewed a Class 3 officer that is willing to work part-time for the rest of this year. So if someone is absent, we're hoping to have them in, also to have them at nighttime events. So once the borough approves them, they will go through their procedures and their background checks, and they got to get cleared for a couple of things, and we hope to have them in a month, hopefully. And then obviously today's been a long day. We did have the county and QSAC in today. I am happy to report that it went very well. They were very happy with where we are and where we're going. There's no official results, but the feeling I got that was we did pretty good, and hopefully we passed. So we should find out in a couple of weeks officially. And obviously yesterday was MLK Day. The students were off, but the teachers were hard at work in PD, and it was one of the rare times where we get to keep the whole district together. and do some things across grade levels. The feedback we got was positive that I received, and we want to try and do a little bit more of that in the future, getting all the grade levels together, because the conversations that they had went very well. So that's all I have for.
Thank you. Okay, this time we're going to have interviews for candidates for our board vacancy. We have 3 candidates. We have Kristen Newberg, we have Sabrina Kearns, and Melissa Giltner. So the order that we're going to do the interviews are going to be who gave applications first. So first, we're going to do Kristen. You can stand at the podium. It's very informal. We just have a few questions. Everyone's going to answer the same question. Basically, no, we don't need your address. Basically, just tell us something about yourself, and then why did you want to be on the Board of Education, and what changes, if any, would you like to make to the district?
Well, my name is Kristen Newberg. I've been a resident of Bogota for about 20 years. My youngest son, Adam, is in 8th grade at the high school, and my oldest is Evan, and he's in 10th grade. And there's a great game going on downstairs in the gym. It's president. I'm a pre-K teacher at Trinity Lutheran. I've been here for about 15 years. I work with 3-year-olds, so I'm going to education. What was the second question?
What changes, if any, would you like to make to the Bogota School District?
Oh, and the tech classes, really need tech classes when everyone goes to college, not everyone wants to go to college. Whether it be for grades, whether it be financial, we're doing to get career ready classes.
Don't be nervous. Don't be nervous.
And that's really, and then maybe just promote the academic achievements as much as we promote the sporting achievements. And then Olympics B and C have students of the month. Maybe the blog could help us out a little bit with promoting them and their achievements, and keeping kids in district is very important. Maybe the tech classes will help.
Does anybody else have any questions you'd like to ask? No? Okay, very informal. Very good.
Hi, my name is Melissa Giltner. I'm the representative.
Use the mic.
Yes. You can use it.
Yeah.
Okay, you ready?
Yeah, sure.
My name is.
My name is Melissa Giltner. I'm the representative of the CPAC, which is the Special Education Parental Advisory Group. I was the district educational surrogate for foster children who were here in town, which makes me an advocate. But most of all, I'm a mom of 4 who believes it takes a village to raise a child. And this is my village and my children. Robert F. Kennedy once said, "There are those who look at things the way they are and ask why. I dream of things that never were and ask why not." There are 3 amazing women up for this spot tonight, and each one has something to contribute. With that being said, it's up to you to decide which one best fits the district's needs. Thank you.
Does anybody? No? Thank you very much. Oh, did you, I'm sorry. I thought you, okay. Did you want to say if any changes you'd like to make to the district?
I would like to address overpopulation, because that's constantly what I'm hearing from parents on social media, in Messenger, and on the CPAC. The way to address it, possibly put in teachers' aides, or maybe pair up with a neighboring district. I mean, with all due respect, another school would be good, but that's not going to happen in real time, and parents are frustrated now. So that's about it. And like Kristen said, offer more services for, of course, special education. That's really all I have to say.
Thank you.
Hello, I'm Sabrina Kearns. I have 2 boys. They're both in Bixby. I'm a special educator for the last 20 years. So the reason I'm running is I think I could bring some value in that regard. And just my husband and I are both volunteers in town, and we just thought that me running would be kind of the next level of how we can serve in a different capacity in town. So that's why I'm running. What I would change is nothing. I'm here to be a voice. I'm here to support our superintendent. I don't know enough to really have that change yet, and those are the things that I want to learn in sitting in meetings. So I know as in my work as a BCBA, I'm becoming certified. We have an ethics code. I've read the ethics code. Those are the things that interest me, setting policy, helping things with curriculum, standing alongside, hearing the voice of community members, and just really making educated decisions for the school and just the town in general.
Okay, thank you. Okay, so at this point, we are going to go into closed session. We're just going to have a little discussion on the candidates. And then we'll come out and we'll make our decision. So I'm going to just go into closed session whereas C-231 PL 1975, also known as the Sunshine Law, authorizes a public body to meet in executive or private session under certain limited circumstances. And whereas the law requires the board to adopt a resolution at a public meeting before it can meet in such an executive or private session. Now therefore be it resolved by the Bogota Board of Education that it does hereby determine that it is necessary to meet an executive session on January 21st, 2020 at 7:14 p.m. to discuss matters involving personnel and attorney-client privilege. That matter discussed will be made public if and when confidentiality is no longer required, and action pursuant to said discussion shall take place only at a public meeting. Action will be taken upon return from executive session. Can I have a motion? Pat, seconded by Jim. All in favor? Aye. Okay, we'll be back. Can I have a motion to open back up to?
Second.
Pat, seconded by Jim. All in favor? Aye.
Now the roll call for each member. When I say your name, please say your roll call for each candidate, please. Mrs. Alvarez,
Sabrina.
Mrs. Lewis,
Sabrina?
Mr. McHale, Mrs. Miller,
Sabrina.
Mr. Moore,
Sabrina.
Mrs. Van Buren,
Sabrina.
Ms. Montgomery,
Kristen.
Mrs. Coles.
Kristen.
We have 6 votes for Sabrina Kearns and 2 votes for Kristen Milberg.
Okay, very good. Kristen? I'm sorry, Sabrina. Yes. I think you're going to get sworn in now.
Yes. Oh, wait, both teams got warning from that, very expensive resident of the house, down by 7.
I, Sabrina Kearns,
Do solemnly swear or affirm
do solemnly swear or affirm
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of New Jersey,
and the Constitution of the State of New Jersey,
and that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same
and that I will bear true faith and the allegiance to the same
and to the governments established in the United States and this state,
and to the governments established in the United States and this state,
under the authority of the people.
under the authority of the people.
So help me God.
So help me God.
I, you say your name,
I, Sabrina Kearns,
do solemnly swear or affirm
do solemnly swear or affirm
that I possess the qualification described by law
that I possess the qualifications prescribed by law
for the office of member of a Board of Education,
for the office of member of the Board of Education,
and that I am not disqualified as a voter pursuant to RS 1941,
and that I am not disqualified as a voter pursuant to RS 19-4-1,
nor disqualified due to conviction of a crime or offense listed in NJS 18A 12-1,
nor disqualified due to conviction of a crime or offense listed in NJSA 18A 12-1,
and that I will faithfully, impartially, and justly
and that I will faithfully, impartially, and justly
perform all the duties of that office according to the best of my ability.
and that I will faithfully, impartially, and justly perform all of the duties of that office according to the best of my ability.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
All right, so we're going to move now on to education. Oh, I'm sorry, minutes. Minutes from December 17th, 2019, regular meeting, open. Can I have a motion? Kathy, seconded by Eileen. All in favor? Aye. Okay. Any comments? No? Okay.
Yeah, I'm looking right now. Mrs. Alvarez?
You weren't here for that. Yeah, abstain.
Mrs. Lewis?
Yes.
Mrs. Kearns? Mr. McHale? Mrs. Miller? Mr. Moore? Mrs. Van Buren? Ms. Montgomery? Ms. Montgomery?
Yes.
Mrs. Coles?
Yes.
Motion carried.
Thank you. Okay, we'll move on to education, 1/21/2001 to 1/21/2012. Can I have a motion? Pat, second by Jim. Any comments? No comments? Irving, can you call the roll?
Mrs. Alvarez? Yes. Mrs. Lewis?
Yes.
Mrs. Kearns?
Abstain.
Mr. McHale?
Yes.
Mrs. Miller?
Yes.
Mr. Moore?
Yes.
Mrs. Van Buren?
Yes, but I was on 4 and 5.
Ms. Montgomery?
Yes.
Mrs. Coles?
Yes.
Motion carried.
Okay, we're going to move on to the addendum for education, 1/21/2029 and 1/21/2030. Can I have a motion? Pat, second by Jim. Any discussion? No discussion. Irving, can you pull the roll, please?
Mrs. Alvarez?
Yes.
Mrs. Lewis?
Yes.
Mrs. Kearns?
Abstain.
Mr. McHale?
Yes.
Mrs. Miller?
Yes.
Mr. Moore?
Yes.
Mrs. Van Buren?
Yes.
Ms. Montgomery?
Yes.
Mrs. Coles?
Yes.
Motion carried.
Thank you. Move on to personnel, 1/21/2013 to 1/21/2018. Can I have a motion? Pat, seconded by Jim. Any discussion? No discussion? Irving, can you call the roll, please?
Mrs. Alvarez?
Yes.
Mrs. Lewis?
Yes.
Mrs. Kearns? Mr. Markel?
Yes.
Mrs. Miller?
Yes.
Mr. Moore?
Yes.
Mrs. Van Buren?
Yes.
Ms. Montgomery?
Yes.
Mrs. Coles?
Yes.
Motion carried.
Okay, we have an addendum on personnel, 1/21/2031. Can I have a motion? Pat, seconded by Jim. Any discussion? No discussion. Irving, can you call the roll, please?
Mrs. Alvarez? Mrs. Lewis?
Yes.
Mrs. Kearns? Mr. Markel?
Yes.
Mrs. Miller?
Yes.
Mr. Moore?
Yes.
Mrs. Van Buren? Ms. Montgomery?
Yes.
Mrs. Coles?
Yes.
Motion carried.
Thank you. Move on to finance, 1/21/2019 to 1/21/2027. Can I have a motion?
Second.
Jim, I'm sorry, who called that? I was just looking at my phone. Pat and Jim seconding. Any discussion? I know I'm going to add that. Okay. Yeah. Any discussion? I'm going to do 28 after that. That's new. Yep. Any discussion? No? Irving, can you call the roll, please?
Mrs. Alvarez?
Yes.
Mrs. Lewis?
Yes.
Mrs. Kearns?
Abstain.
Mr. Markel?
Yes.
Mrs. Miller?
Yes.
Mr. Moore?
Yes.
Mrs. Van Buren?
Yes.
Ms. Montgomery?
Yes.
Mrs. Coles?
Yes.
Motion carried.
Okay. We have one add-on to that. It's 1/21/2028. Can I have a motion? Pat, seconded by Jim. Any discussion on that? Okay. Irving, can you call the roll, please?
Mrs. Alvarez?
Yes.
Mrs. Lewis?
Yes.
Mrs. Kearns? Mr. Markel?
Yes.
Mrs. Miller?
Yes.
Mr. Moore?
Yes.
Mrs. Van Buren?
Yes.
Ms. Montgomery?
Yes.
Mrs. Coles?
Yes.
Motion carried.
Thank you. Okay, we'll move on to committee reports. Does anybody have any committee reports? Probably not. No? Okay. Yeah, we'll be having committee meetings very soon. Sabrina, I'll give you a list. I already made you on whoever had gotten the position tonight, so. I put you on education, I know I put you on that. And policy, so I'll give you a list. Yes, policy is very fun. Okay, does anyone have any old business? Kathy?
I was just curious what the status is of Dale Collins' maternity leave, because we pulled that in December.
We're gonna have it on in February, where she's gonna be able to take her vacation days in the summer, and it's not gonna be as much time as she wanted, but, it will be
That was
ready to go.
a conflict.
Well, because the new law states that after you're allowed to do, and Nathaniel, you can help me on this, because I've actually been learning a little bit about this, I've had 3 kids of my own. You're allowed to use 20 sick days before the baby's born, so you have to be a mind reader to when that baby's gonna be born. And then you're only allowed to take 20 sick days after the baby's born, unless you have a C-section, you get a 20 days more or a doctor's note. But after that, you are not allowed to use sick days because you're not sick anymore, is what the new law reads, that you would have to go on family leave. Now, for our teachers, most of them try to have their babies at the end of the school year because that family leave, when you hit the summer, it stops. But because Dale is 12 months, there is no stoppage. So, but our problem is that we allow them to use all their vacation days in the summer. So that's what we were trying to hammer out. So we just have to sit and make sure that everyone's on board with it. But
And she's good with this? I told her that.
I believe so, but the law is the law, so we're doing the best that we can. But yeah, I think she's gonna be okay with it after.
I just felt bad that,
Yeah.
as long as she knows it's not us.
Correct.
Right, see, that's it, it's not us, it's not us, it's them. Who is that?
Always blame the lawyers.
It's you.
Any new business?
She's still getting about 5 months.
But she's more than I know.
I just wanted to make sure that we were inviting all our EMT and fire department and DPW and everybody for the
Career day.
career day.
I'll double check, but I'm pretty sure we are going in that direction.
When is career day? February
26.
26th. Wait, yeah. going on?
She's
not-
working the play right now.
Oh, okay.
She's in a million different things.
They always are,
If she can't do it, I guess maybe a replacement or, yeah.
I said something to her, and she told me she promised she was gonna be it, but now because of the play meeting, she was working stage crew. So, like, obviously the play being moved, she couldn't.
I can tell you the answer, this happens all the time, because the student rep is always a very involved student, so maybe if they could come up with an alternate system or something, maybe be represented.
Anybody else have any new business? No? Okay. At this time, can I have a motion to open up to public comment? Pat, seconded by Jim. All in favor? Aye. Okay, at this time, if anybody would like to come forward, public comment, state your name and address.
Hey.
Never knew somebody could do one of my job. Mike Connors, 111 Gray Street. A couple quick things. Is it possible to get more of the agenda for the latecomers and myself? There seems to be only a handful of copies. We have a nice crowd tonight. I know I was the only one who didn't get a copy of the agenda.
We're not used to this many people.
The other thing I'd like to, oh, thank you. That was fast service. Mr. Harris.
It's very accommodating.
Anyhow, the other quick thing, Mr. Kennedy, I had texted you about our local CVS here up on Queen Road is continuing to sell stuff with Bogota High School on it. They have a label on there that says they're giving money to the school. As far as I know, they haven't given dollar number one yet. And there's a big rack right as you walk in, and it's full of hats and sweaters and jackets, all with Bogota Bucks stuff on. And I sent it to Mr. Kennedy, so Mr. Kennedy,
We have investigated a little bit. We just got through CUSAC today.
I understand it's not my
So,
top.
but we did look into it and try and get a phone number. So I'm gonna put Irfan on that, track down who is selling our merchandise and not giving us the money.
We get a buck on our buck.
Oh, the only other quick thing was, I was trying to find the meetings on the YouTube page, and it seems to be like impossible to find.
It's on our board.
BucNation.
No, but that's just for, I don't know if they don't post the meetings there. We post it on our website under board of education. It'll say board videos.
Yeah, I think the one that they did find had 7 views. Is there any way to get it out, get like, because, you know, I know it's hard, if it was hard for me to find, I'm sure it's hard for other people to find.
Share it.
So, yeah, no, I know how to do that, but it should be easier. If there's any way, maybe after a meeting, where we could send out maybe a blast to all parents that the meeting was on last night, just a thought. I mean, just
You can
because.
post the link in Twitter.
Yeah, we can post it to Twitter. We can send an email blast with a link.
That would be good. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Anybody else? Okay, can I have a motion to close public comment? Pat, seconded by Jim, all in favor? Aye. Okay, at this time, we're going to go into executive session, whereas C-231 PL 1975, also known as the Sunshine Law, authorizes the public body to meet in executive or private session under certain limited circumstances, and whereas said law requires the board to adopt a resolution at a public meeting before it can meet in such an executive or private session. Now therefore be it resolved by the Bogota Board of Education that it does hereby determine that it is necessary to meet an executive session on January 21st at 7:43 p.m. 2020 I'm sorry, I'm tired, to discuss matters involving negotiations and real estate. That the matter discussed will be made public if and when confidentiality is no longer required, and action pursuant to said discussion shall take place only at a public meeting. Can I have a motion? Pat, seconded by Jim. All in favor? Aye. Okay, like 10 minutes? It won't be long. Can I have a motion to open up? Pat, seconded by Kathy. All in favor? Aye. Can I have a motion to adjourn? Pat, seconded by Jim. All in favor? Aye. Okay, everyone have a good evening. Thank you.
I came here last time. I thought I saw a car was coming. I wouldn't have signed up tonight.